Ah, we're recording. There we go. Okay, again off the cuff, not rehearsed in any way. People have been asking for a tutorial on Hero Forge's new facial customizer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go find a complicated build that I made. Okay, you can do that. Start with species. I always go with human because it gives the best body kind of layout and head layout. Get rid of the brows. There we go. Quick tutorial on how the face customizer works. You've got different heads, and then you can change big edits and small edits. Yeah. Control Z, greatest tool you can ever have. Right, I'm going to show you how you make an ape. So if I can remember. I've always found, since it was released, that the bovine mouth is good for all sorts of creatures. I use this particular mouth for making Gremlins builds. I made all the Gremlins from Gremlins 2, and I made Stripe from the first film. I made Gizmo as well, using this mouth and using different decals. But really, it's just a case of Control Z. If you get stuck on anything, you need a search bar. We don't have a search bar, so you have to go through it one by one and find the one that you want. That's the one that I wanted. This is why I stuck the big ears on him. Also, you can, if you're in this mode, in face mode, you can actually just click on that, and this will change. You want the nose, you click on that. You want the mouth, you click on that. Lips is in the same menu, so it's easy enough to do that. What I'm going to do actually is I'm going to look at a different kind of forehead. We want a quite a bulky forehead. I can't remember what the forehead I used on the other apes that I made. See, that one's quite good. It's got some decent shape to it already. And then we're going to find some good eyes. Apes have kind of round eyes, don't they? Kind of circular. That's not... No, I don't like that. These goblin eyes, what do they do? I'm going to work with those. So this is where we go to edit. So first thing, if you've got your head shape down, that's fine. So I'm just going to show you via this how the edits themselves actually work. Okay, what you've got here is a general oversized, a general overall kind of blanket scale. So it keeps the actual kind of like the aspect ratio, the width, the height, the thickness, and the depth from here to the front. If you do that, it does that. So I'm going to crank those up. Not too much. That is just general width. It changes only the width. It doesn't change the depth. That's your depth. So if I turn him to the side and change this, it sticks it out. But it hasn't gotten any wider. You want it wide? Change that one. That's getting a bit much. So I'm going to crank the general scale, the blanket scale, down. So that's okay, it sticks out a bit now. That's pretty good. So we're going to be adjusting all of this in a bit as well. I'll show you how it works. When you go to small edits, you can change the inside of the eyebrow, the middle piece of the eyebrow kind of here, and then the outside of the eyebrow. So I'm going to make that slightly wider. I'm going to pull the depth in. Sorry, that's not the depth, that's the height. Yeah, it's a bit deep actually. It sticks out a bit too far. Sorry about that funny noise then, I've got bits on my screen. That's the width. I'm going to crank that back in a little bit. Crank that up. Crank that back. That's a bit better. But he looks a bit thin around the face here, so that's fine. So what you do, see the red marks there? That's the jawline. That's the chin itself, but you want the jawline. And you find a nice, decent, strong jaw. Now, I found that chimps tend to have hairy faces. So if we find there is a hairy face here somewhere, we really need a search bar in here, Hero Forge. There it is, rabbit folk. But again, it's a bit thin, it's a bit skinny. I'm just going to change the chin. Again, this is the chin. Like I said, you can actually click on there, but that's fine. I'll go to features. What's bovine do? See, that's too small. And that's got a nice shape to it. Chimpanzees and primates and stuff don't tend to have much of a chin. So I want to go back to the jaw. Okay. And again, you've got the width, you've got the height, you've got the depth, and the general overall scale. Hero Forge is still messing with these. They keep changing them. Every time I come in, they move these things around a little bit. But the general scale. And again, if you've moved something I don't like that, Control Z. Nice and easy. If you've moved something and then you've moved it again, because you let go and then moved it a second time, it's Control Z, Control Z. And it puts it back to where it was. See, that's the depth that it's changing, so you couldn't see much there. I'll do that back. See that? Up that slightly. And there's the height. You move it down, you move it up. Move it down. I like that, because it squares the chin up a little bit. Squares the jaw up, I should say. And again, you've got the chin core, which is this area. And you've got the piece right underneath his neck. Which is actually this piece here, not this piece, it's this piece. So we want to move it down. And we change the depth. That. And again, if you've done something you didn't like, see that looks terrible, so you go, I did two movements there that I don't like. 1, 2, Control Z. That's your best tool that you can use when messing with Facial Customizer. Let's change the height on that a little bit. For some reason these are different symbols, but that's your general sort of up and down. I'll show you that from the side. General sort of up and down height, and this one's your general sort of width. So I squared that up a little. That's not bad. That's not bad. But that's how easy it is to use Facial Customizer. And again, if you do something you don't like, Control Z is a brilliant little addition that I've seen all sorts of sites where you can do all sorts of different types of artwork, and Control Z just don't work. It just doesn't have it for some reason. But Hero Forge does. Rabbit folk? No. Bovine? No. Feline? Too tall. Actually, no. We want our ape to have a flat head. Well, that's got a good shape to it actually. It's got a nice kind of contour to it there. So what I'm going to do, before I carry on, I'm going to change my TV channel. Because Pickle Rick's no longer on, so I don't need to watch that now. And again, you've got your main core of basically the crown of the head. And again, it will change the height, the width, and the depth all at the same time on this particular one. But we don't like that. Control Z. Again, brilliant tool. Let's flatten it. Let's do the depth. In or out, so we go that way. So we've straightened up the head, or flattened up the head. I'm going to do the depth on this one as well. Pull it right back. Change the height slightly. Now he's starting to look like an ape. But how do you do this bit at the back here? Because that's a bit too bulbous at the back. What you do is you go to small edits. And you can change this little piece at the back. You've got this piece here, you've got a piece at the top, you've got a piece here, and I think that's one of them as well. That's the one that we want to change, is that one, which is this one. Change the scale. Kind of does weird things. It's doing something and I've moved it in a way I don't like. Again, Control Z. Nice and easy. Let's change the depth. Ooh, there we go. That's pulled it right in. Let's have a look at this one. What does this do? Ooh, that's weird. Let's pull that back. What's it look like from the front? Okay. That's looking alright, I suppose. Can we change the depth on that? We can pull that in. That's another nice little fine detail we've pulled in. And let's have a look at the forehead, because I want to put a bit more of a bump on that. And this is just this little area here. Again, I've got bits all over my screen. I need to stop smoking. So I think it's cigarette ash. But as you can see, it's moving that. And I've moved it. I'm not sure if I like it. Control Z puts it back. Nice and easy. Let's pull that right back and let's raise it that way a bit. You can't really see much change there. But there you go. The head's not perfect, but top of the head there, I'd mess around with it a bit more. But if you mess around with it enough, you can build. I'm not going to bother saving that. All that work I've just done, I'm not saving it. Again, this is just completely off the cuff. I've not planned this inverted commas tutorial. But that's what you can build. As you can see, I've got little adjustments made to that, slightly bigger adjustments made to the back of the head. You can't see it because the hair's in the way. But the facial customizer, you can do all sorts. You just have to sort of pick and choose. Pick and choose the pieces you want. You know, pick and choose the eyes you want. Which eyes did I use for this guy? I used the elongated alien head features. So they're pretty good actually, because they've got these like really nice wrinkles around the eyes. So look at the big edits that I did. There we go, look. I made it really, really narrow. See? And that's where it was. The height is at maximum. But again, there's lots of little tricks you can do with this. I'm just going to show you. Here we go. I'll show you Burke. I built Burke from Aliens. I'll show you what you can do with the facial customizer. Certainly with the head customizer, like the crown of the head and the forehead and stuff like that. Is with this particular build, it's Burke from Aliens, and I've actually given him the afro haircut. But Burke in the movie's just got kind of like a thick curly hair. So I stuck the afro on him, and then adjusted the shape of his head to just make it look like curly hair, rather than he's got an actual afro. So if I go to the face, go to the head, remove everything, that's what he actually looks like. That was the base model that I used. On Control Z, put it back to how it was. That's what you can do with it. You stick a hairstyle on and then change the shape of the head, and you can actually in effect change the shape of the afro hair that I gave him. And you can do that with any hair, like you saw with that ape that I made. Don't save, go back. Again, I'll show you this gorilla that I made. it's kind of changed. You can see it's changed the shape of the hair. So these are the little tricks you'll be able to do with the facial customizer. But again, just experiment. I've got the mouth selected. Let's change the scale of the mouth. Actually, that's one that doesn't work. For some reason, I don't know why, on the mouth, this particular one on this particular mouth chord doesn't do anything, and I'm not sure why. I don't know why Hero Forge hasn't done anything with that yet. But again, that's something they're changing, like I said earlier. They're still messing with this thing and perfecting it. But there you go. So you got him like that. It doesn't look right. But if you put the mouth to maximum, it just gives it that extra little touch. The depth. Let's turn him sideways. See that? But again, I've moved all that stuff around now. Control Z, 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 Z. Right, put him back to how he was. So he doesn't look too bad with that, but I don't like that. Control Z. Again, that's how easy it is. You've got width, general scale, height, depth. Again, general kind of scale for the inside of the let's raise that. So he's looking a bit more inquisitive now. And you can use this facial customizer alongside the pose. That's the good thing with this. I go to the pose on the eyebrows, because I've just moved those eyebrows. What I'm going to do it was the inner that I just changed, if you remember. I made him look more inquisitive a moment ago by literally changing the shape of the head, but now I can change the shape of the pose on those same parts. Make him look even more inquisitive. He's like, yeah, I didn't know that did that. So you can actually utilize the facial customizer with the actual pose as well to make him look even more angry, or even more inquisitive, or even more worried, or even more scared, or, you know, even more Hulk mode. You can do anything you want with it. It's really just a case of messing with it, you know. And that's just a general pose there. Let's have a look at the nose. What have I done with the nose? I'm going to undo that. Core flare. Again, that's just the core flare of the nose, of the nostrils. If I go to head, nose, I'll go to small edits, and I'll find the actual nostrils, which are very bottom one, the outer side, the nose wing, as it's called. But again, if I start messing with that, alongside the pose as well, you can combine the two different pieces and mess around with them. Your best bet first, though, is get the head how you want it. You know, get the head and the face, and get the eyes the way that you want them. I'll change the eyes to something else. What does he look like with those eyes? It looks a bit weird. Those eyes. Didn't make much difference. Those eyes? Yeah, doesn't make much difference. Oh, but bovine eyes. He looks weird with them. But again, I'm not going to change any of this. If I make mistakes or you do something you don't like, Control Z, 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 Z. There we go. It'll only go back about 20 moves. That's the other thing. But at least Control Z is a good tool to use. But that's how easy it is to use Facial Customizer. It's very easy, and Control Z is your best friend. There you go. And that's about it really for my tutorial. Off the cuff, not planned, but yeah, thank you for tuning in and watching the video. And hopefully maybe soon I'll have some other ones to do. But yeah, thanks for watching, and this is the Rodent signing off.